Welcome back, and we're talking about drunk driving. I wanted to remind you that beginning tonight at 6 o'clock on Channel 13's Eyewitness News, Jerry Turner begins a 5-part special report on drunk drivers called The Deadliest Drive, and we urge all of you to watch. And we were just commenting that some of the lawmakers might be watching today because it's a holiday and their session is not until tonight. And if you're trying to call a state office, you should not do that until tomorrow because the state offices are closed on this holiday. If you've been following the drunk driving story, we have seen this next gentleman on Nightline, on ABC, and on a variety of other programs. Here's Captain John Baker of the Montgomery County Police Department, and they have really started cracking down on drunk drivers with their roadblocks, checking every motorist, and we'd like to welcome him now, if we can, to People Are Talking. Welcome to the show, sir. How did you conceive the idea, sir, if you will?
Well, we had a meeting in our traffic section, which really consists of 4 people at the district, where I'm the district commander, back in June of 1981, in an effort to decide exactly what we could do with the minimum amount of manpower that we have in the traffic section to have an impact that is substantial in the problem of drunk drivers. At that time, the suggestion came from one of the officers in traffic, why don't we just block the entire roadway and check all the drunks? Well, we grew from there. We actually started it back in the latter part of June. We had 1 roadblock until we could follow that case through court and see exactly what they were going to do to the police for taking such a drastic step. We seemed to come through court okay with no real problems, and then after that, on October the 30th, just before the holiday season, when we felt it would have the greatest impact, we made an all-out program, and it's still continuing, where we block the roadways and check all the people for drunk driving.
Sounds like you were apprehensive at first because you thought that perhaps maybe the courts would hold you up, that the whole system would sort of block what you were trying to do.
Well, we knew that we had to really be public with it when we made the all-out effort, because there's no doubt that there are many factions in our society that do not want strong enforcement for drunk drivers or any other section of the alcohol violations, because it's an economic issue. It's money out of somebody's pocket. So we knew we had to go with it at exactly the right time, that we could really get moving. Once we got moving, we knew that then it would be okay to continue.
Captain, how do you feel about the drunk driver that gets off so easily? How do you personally feel about it?
Personally, I feel that we turned a killer loose. That's I've seen that. I've been a police officer for some years now, and I think my first 3 years as a police officer, I made more arrests for drunk driving than I issued parking tickets. And I saw the majority of those people walk right out of court. As a matter of fact, there was a minimum number of convictions, especially in those days. So it's something that's always been with me. Anytime we have a drunk driver, to me it's tantamount, and to most any other police officer, it's tantamount to aiming a shotgun straight down the roadway and shooting. You may hit someone, you may not. So I'm touched anytime I see a drunk driver walk out of court, because I know he's likely to do it again.
Yes, Captain Baker is absolutely correct. What we're saying is that, especially one who has a drinking problem, it's just a matter of time before he will affect somebody's life. And I think the ratio is, for every drunk driver they arrest, about 2,000 get away. That's how many drunk drivers are on the roads, especially on a Friday or Saturday evening.
Captain Baker mentioned it's an economic issue. Do you believe that too, that if it were not for certain people who want to sell liquor, who insist upon having laws allowing it, that we wouldn't have this problem?
Absolutely. Agree with him 100%. It is an economic issue.
How much progress, how many arrests did you make on the roadblocks?
Well, initially we made a lot of arrests. The first month we were fully into operation, the month of November, we made more than 100 arrests. We had quite a bit of publicity, I think about 12 or 13 television programs that really informed the people, particularly in that locale, that we were doing the roadblocks. Then the arrest dropped down. So did the accident rate. That's been the only district that's had a true reduction on a continual basis in the personal injury accidents since we started the roadblock program. The month of January, we finished with, I think we had 22 arrests at the roadblocks for drunk driving. With even more efforts. We were there more, which is an indication to me that fewer people are driving drunk, because there's a certainty of being apprehended.
I guess you've spoken to a lot of drunk drivers. I mean, are they aware that they are potential killers? Do they have no feelings about it? I mean,
Well, it's more difficult than that, really, because obviously when a person drinks, it affects their reasoning. That's one of the problems. And when a person's reasoning is affected, some people think they're supermen. Some people think that some want to crawl off in a corner and go to sleep at a place that's not very logical on the side of the roadway. So people are not logical when they're intoxicated.
Thank you very much for being on the show. Continued good luck with those roadblocks and with the arrests. Continued success. Thank you, sir. Good morning. You're on Channel 13's People Are Talking.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, I do a lot of work with alcoholics, and all the points that you've been brought up are so true that I don't think a lot of people out there realize what suffering you're going through. Also, I don't think you realize what suffering the alcoholic is going through. You're victims of the crime. How unjustly you've been treated by the laws of the land are lucky enough to go on into an eternal peace. The people that live on this earth that are the persecutors, the drunk driver, that have laid upon you, okay, this grief to bear for the rest of your life, also bear this grief and are not as lucky as the victim. They have to realize that this is not something that they can get away with again and again. And I think that all the work that you are doing only helps them a lot more than you even realize. It's unfortunate that things are in this country are said a lot quickly more than they are done. And I only hope that your help will help them. And with a little help from God and our friends, we can help you also in your...
How do you react to a call like that?
Basically, she's correct. It's not only the victim's life is altered immensely, but it's the perpetrator of the crime, especially one who has a serious drinking problem. His life and his family members are affected. That's why we need to pull together the resources necessary to rehabilitate the problem drinker. And that will get some drunk drivers off the road.
but first, take his license away.
We're going to come back and have more personal stories about drunk drivers in just a moment.